In this video, we're going to talk about how to answer CMI Unit 526, Task 3, AC 3.1. So, let's take a look. It's another evaluate question. If you've been working through this assignment, you will have answered some questions a bit like this already. It says, evaluate how leadership supports the achievement of organisational objectives. We're trying to take, I think where they're going with this is, leadership doesn't operate in a vacuum. You know, you could be a brilliant leader, but what does that do within an organisation? So if an organisation's one of their primary aims, if not the primary aim, is about achieving objectives, whatever the plan is that we've set out, then how does leadership support that? There's loads of approaches, if you like, loads of leadership practices that you're going to see and you're going to do and use yourself. So let's have a look. Recommended content, it says supports, which is the question word here, might include setting and communicating a clear vision, developing people, maybe managing performance, developing a relevant and appropriate culture, engaging people, managing, leading change, whatever. So it's giving you a bit of a range. I think in my mind, evaluate here really probably means, I've just put a comment here, probably it is sort of pros and cons, but that might be slightly harder in my head to work out what the pros and cons might be. So I think it's maybe more like the kind of strengths and limitations of some of the stuff they've listed here, or maybe the arguments for and against what's listed here. So let's have a look. These questions are around about 400 words. So if we just jump over to the template, we'll see that there's 4 assessment criteria for task 3, so AC 3.1, 3.2, 3 and 4, 1700 words for the whole lot for all 4, so basically 400 each. As usual, what we've done here is just sort of copy across some of that guidance. I've just given you a few, as usual, a few example subheadings to maybe work on. So if we take something like, for example, creating and setting a clear vision, what are the strengths of that? How is that useful? What value does it add, essentially? And it's probably going to be pretty positive. We might talk about a vision that kind of focuses lots of people, like could be a whole organization, might be 1,000 people or whatever, I don't know, maybe lots more than that. If we got a clear vision, could be a team vision for 10 people, that's just the same. Does it unify people? Does it help us kind of focus together on a direction and moving forward? So that sounds pretty positive to me. But there can be times when you've got a vision where there may be sort of, it may not be appropriate, or it may not be so strong. So we need a balance with evaluation. I think it's probably going to be slightly more positive than the negatives here, but it still needs to be fairly balanced. So what are some of the weaknesses, or perhaps slightly better language might be limitations of setting a clear vision? It might just be a vision, I don't know, it might be inappropriate, or it might be too vague, or it might be the wrong time. We're under a lot of pressure, we're focusing down and in at the moment, we're all kind of busy, and then the leadership team or you as the manager or leader come along and say, I've got this vision. It's like, well, we're too busy for that. So there could be times and ways in which the vision is created that may be a limitation of it. So please consider that. We could choose something like developing a positive culture. So again, what's good about that? And again, I think that's going to be mainly positive. I'm not sure. I think we would have to define what we mean by positive a little bit more. And that would be good. Remember that you're using your workplace examples throughout these. So every answer should use the same work context, in my opinion, and you should be bringing in your own examples. You're going to have to keep them very short, like a sentence or something, but that would be really good. So developing a positive culture, yeah, great. What are the limitations of that? So sometimes with an evaluation, it can be good to have a chat, have a chat with us or have a chat with someone who's learning. Take it to your line manager. A lot of people do that who study with us. We encourage you to sort of reach out and connect with people. Don't get them to write it for you. We're not going to write it for you, but I think, get some help, have a chat through. Make sure you capture it, do a transcript on Teams or just write some notes on what you think the pros and cons are, and reflect on your own experiences as well. Someone comes along and is looking to drive a particular culture, then how did that go? It just end up kind of seeming like extra work, or like I don't know, there could be some negatives to it as well. So yeah, have a chat with some people. Remember as well, evaluate question. If you've got this far through your assignment, you'll know this now. But evaluate questions. You need to draw a conclusion at the end. So you're kind of doing some judgy stuff. We're saying what the pros and cons are. We need to do a conclusion of the overall answer. So we need to say that leadership does support organisational objectives, but there are going to be some limitations to that as well. And we need to bear those in mind when we're going to use those techniques. Remember, we're trying to apply this learning to us. So this is not just writing about things, leaders in general. This is okay, so next time I'm going to set a vision, I need to remember the upsides and the downsides when I'm going to do that. So we need to kind of integrate this stuff. Cool, hope that helps. Thanks.